Hey DJ Estrela, thank you so much first of all for this MIDI mapping for the DDJ-1000. There's so much work that went into it and the integration with Bome. This is so cool and I really hope to get this mapping working as it should. I just wanted to give you some feedback and present you some minor but also some major issues that currently prevent me from using this mapping live. I really tried everything now and can't get it to work in some parts for me, and I hope that you can take this feedback and maybe help me to get around some of the problems that I'm facing. And yeah, I divided the video in some parts. I will start with the major issues that I found that are really bad for me, or probably for others, I'm not sure. And then I'm going to show some minor issues later on. That's mainly some feedback, but yeah. Okay, let's get started. Start with issue number 1. This is the relation to the master output to the PA and the Q functions for the headphones and also the monitor booth. I'll show you what I mean. If I play the track, now I can hear it because I'm on the master Q. Everything's good as well. I can adjust the volume. That's what I want. This mixing is also working. Now I have the same volume for master and Q. Now I don't hear anything because I'm only in the master. Now I hear the Q. And now I hear both and it gets ridiculously loud, what I would expect. But if I toggle between these, this is now much louder than this. And I found out that the relation between the master out and the Q for the master is, there's a relation between the two. That means now my headphones are getting louder because I'm adjusting the master volume. And as you can see on screen, if I turn the master volume knob, it turns also the master output volume in Traktor, which should never be the case because yeah, it changes the recording volume and everything. I just wanted to, I have to control the PA volume, but this should affect nothing. Like if I'm now mixing in this second track, it's extremely loud and I will think, okay, I have to turn this down so much and then mix it in, but then I will find that it's ridiculously silent. And this is just because if I change anything here, it changes the relation between the queuing, and this can never be. This is really a problem why I would never be able, without an external mixer, and keep this locked in one position to mix with it. Yeah, and I don't know a way to work around that. In my other controllers, I had the option to turn this knob, but this will never send a MIDI signal, so it won't change the main output in Traktor, which was great. And it also affects the monitor booth. Like if I wanted party in my booth, like full volume, but have the crowd hear lower volume, that is not possible anymore because it's also affecting my my booth output. Like if I turn up the master volume, the booth gets extremely loud as well, and this can't be. Okay, let's talk about the long press and loop reactivate features, which are not working. And this is one of the most things I use when using Traktor. Is I have a beat loop somewhere and it's not activated. You can activate it via this button, as you know. And if I now go to it, I should be able to activate the cue by long pressing the 4-beat loop. And if I do it, nothing happens, as you can see. And if I let go, it will just create a loop. This is also present in the slip reverse function. If I hold it, nothing happens. The long presses seem to not work at all. And if I let go, the echo gets triggered. And I can't even, if I long press it and I want not to have the echo, it's not possible. I have to release and then click to stop it. And yeah, even though there is the active loop shift function on the controller, which should activate the loop when I press shift, and this, it's not really intuitive. It would be better if I could use what the controller says, and it does the thing, but you decided to use the long press. Whatever I can get used to it, if it would work, but my feedback is it would be better to have the shift and activate loop function, and then maybe have the memory and active loop to do the virtual DJ backwards loop stuff. That would be work much better. But yeah, these I found that any long presses on the device or any long press features are not working at all. Okay, the next thing that I want to talk about is the loop delay, and this is a pretty major issue for me as well. If I want to set a loop at the end of this 32 bars, you can see that the loop is not accurate at all. There's quite a delay in the loop, and I found out where this comes from. It's you are setting the loop not if I press the button, but when I release it. So if I press it very quickly and release it after I press, then the loop gets more accurate, and this is probably because you are waiting if the player is holding down the button to maybe activate the loop instead of creating a new one. But this leads to an issue where you have to actually release the button and not press it to start the loop, which is very unintuitive. If I hold it down now and then I would say, okay, then I get it perfect, you see, because I can leave it when, and this is not how a loop should function. This is really irritating and causes all the time that my loops are not accurate anymore. And you can also see if I do it with the memory button, I have to put the mic away for it, then it works perfectly fine as well. And this is because, of course, if I press it, it creates the loop and not if I let go of it. So this should really be fixed. As I told you before, you should probably just use it as it's supposed to be. If you click it, the loop gets created, and if you hold shift and click it, it's reactivating the loop. And these are my most used loop features. And yeah, it would be great if that would work and not trigger the loop when you release the button. Okay, next thing I want to talk about is the effects section. And if I'm cycling through the effects, you can see in the Traktor window that the effects unit number 4 is toggled through. That's how you programmed it. But also you can see that the light for the effect goes for a split second is on. And this causes the effect to actually get played very shortly. And for some effects like delays and stuff like that, you can hear it. So it's not possible to toggle through the effects even if you are not on. And this makes it it renders the effects unit unusable actually, because you can hear it like here for the delay, especially if I'm going from the echo to the low cut echo. Yeah, you can hear the echo, like all the effects, all the others as well. Some are more pronounced than others when they are very shortly on, but they get triggered. You can hear the phaser, the flanger also, which makes it really unusable. I would have to go to, I don't know, the master, then select my effect, then go back to my channel and then use it. And maybe if I want to just go from one to the other effects, I have to go to the master again and then go to my channel again and then activate it so that it's not triggered all the time. Yeah, this is quite annoying. I'm not sure why this is. It's like Bome is too slow or something. However, this makes it really not usable because I can't go through the effects without affecting my music. Okay, now I want to talk about the way that the effects are working. And if I bring in my track, for example, and take the roll and set it to half the Pioneer effect, half a beat, and then it works. And now if I increase it, I increase the roll size, like now it's 4 beats and so on. And if I go to the left arrow, it gets quicker and quicker and quicker until it stops almost the track. It sounds terrible. But if I use the built-in Traktor effect that you assigned and say I take the roll, I know this is not mapping and that's not ideal to use it, but the way it functions, it's like now it's doing the roll, and now if I increase it, it's the other way around than the built-in function. It gets quicker, and if I go to the left, it gets longer. So it's swapped. And of course, if the effects for the Pioneer effects weren't working at all, yeah, you could say yes, that's how it is. And if you switch to a real CDJ setup or DJM, it's the other way around again, but you should really try to keep the functionality of the controller like the master is for the Traktor effects, which would be as easy as just switching the direction in the mapping where the Traktor effects are controlled, so that the master effects are matching, even if it's not perfect, are matching the functionality. Like you get longer and you get shorter. Some of them are not really that important, like pitch is working fine, but the echo effects or the delay effects, you can see that there it's just the other way around, which is very counterintuitive. Okay, here's one more. It's the vinyl break function, which should apparently work when doing shift and play pause. It's not doing the effect, but as you can see in the Traktor screen, it's changing the nudge function permanently. It's now nudging 1.6% slower. I don't know what's going on, but that's not right. That's a minor issue, and I really don't use it that often, but that should not be the case. Okay, one more thing is the temp range adjustment. You edit the temp range, of course, and it only goes up to 25%. If I'm now on 25%, as you can see on the right deck, and now if I increase the temp range again, I get 100. And what I found is that when I'm mixing cross genre, I often need 35%, and the way I have to do it now, it would be to go to the settings, which takes some time. Okay, that was pretty quick. And then go to transport and set it to 35, and then close it again, and then everything is jaggery and it's saving, and yeah, now I can use the 35 range, which I use most of the time. It would be great if you could add this 35% step before going to 100%.